In this current era, there wasn't any electricity. The rumor said that some large survival base can convert vigor into electricity, innovate a lot of mysterious infrastructure and recreate the brilliance of the era before the doomsday. However, that's only for large survival bases. Small survival bases such as Lin Hai Base do not have such a capability. Every shop used either oil lamps or candles. Standing in the middle of the streets, Ye Tian felt that he returned back to the ancient days of China. Suddenly, there's a vicious beast. Run. A vicious beast is here. Fear and panic filled the entire street. Vicious beast. Ye Tian was stunned. He had never seen a vicious beast before. Rumors said that they're frightening, and they can easily kill ordinary people. Only martial artists can deal with vicious beasts. Lin Hai Base is surrounded by city walls. However, sometimes these walls couldn't stop some vicious beasts from entering the base. Ordinary people who encounter these vicious beasts only have one ending, that is death. Quickly go home. Ye Tian remembered his little sister Ye Yu. The distance from here to their house wasn't far. House walls are fragile and can't be relied on to hold off vicious beasts. He's worried about his little sister. While running, Ye Tian saw a silver shadow dashing across the street. Ordinary people were being killed one by the silver shadow. What speed! Ye Tian was flabbergasted. This level of speed was beyond what his eyes could follow. This was what he saw from a distance. If it was from up close, then you might get killed without even being able to see its shadow. If this vicious beast targets me, I'm dead. Ye Tian thought to himself. He isn't some main character of a story that doesn't die in any dangerous situation. Of course, he won't be stupid as to challenge that vicious beast. Facing an unbeatable opponent? Better run then. Ye Tian isn't stupid, therefore he started running. Unfortunately, his speed is incomparable to the vicious beast. The vicious beast is coming towards him. Ye Tian knew that the vicious beast wasn't specifically targeting him. But if he's close enough, then it wouldn't hesitate to kill him with its sharp claws. Vile creature! You dare to kill people inside the base. A few martial artists are brought along by a middle-aged man. Quickly, they surrounded the vicious beast. Great! It's the Wind Wolf Hunter Team. Someone shouted. Wind Wolf Hunter Team. Ye Tian recognized the name of this hunter team. It's a renowned hunter team in his area. The leader of this hunter team had a nickname called Wind Wolf. He's a late-stage martial artist. There are over 10 early-stage and mid-stage martial artists working under him. Seeing that the Wind Wolf Hunter Team is here, most of the people breathed a sigh of relief. They even started to watch the commotion from afar. Leave. This vicious beast isn't simple. The Wind Wolf leader shouted at the surrounding crowds. With the leader's reminder, a lot of the crowd realized that the battle between the vicious beasts and martial artists wasn't supposed to be watched. If they're not careful, they might get killed by the vicious beast before the martial artists can come and save them. Back off. Back off. Back off. Everyone was backing off. Ye Tian stood at a place far away and didn't leave. He wanted to know how much battle power a martial artist had. Soon, the battle commenced. The Wind Wolf leader tried to attack the vicious beast with his sword. His sword was shining brightly under the moonlight. His attack was strong. The stone pavement on the streets had been left with a 3-meter-long mark. Unfortunately, the vicious beast's speed is too quick. It dodged the attack. What a powerful attack! Even the solid stone pavement had been cleaved open. If this is used on a person, that person would be cleaved into half. So, this is a martial artist's power. Ye Tian wanted that power. Wind Wolf Hunter Team's martial artists took out their weapons and started to attack the vicious beast. Each of them had a grim expression. Suddenly, a martial artist had been smacked away by the vicious beast. His chest was wounded deep. Xiao Bai ***. The Wind Wolf leader glanced at him worriedly for a second. Without checking Xiao Bai's injury, he continued to attack the vicious beast. Although the vicious beast had managed to gravely injure a martial artist, it was still being ganged up by a lot of martial artists and suffered some wounds. Be careful, this rascal is trying to escape. The Wind Wolf leader shouted. As expected, the vicious beast realized that the situation wasn't good for him and wrapped itself with silver light and tried to break out of the encirclement. At this moment, an arrow flew from afar and pierced the vicious beast. Followed by a loud crash, the vicious beast fell onto the streets. Its figure was finally revealed. It's a silver mink. Ye Tian could finally see clearly. This silver mink is 1 meter long, has sharp claws and its eyes are red. This silver moon mink was already gravely injured by Xiao Yu. Be alert, everyone. If we kill it, then we won't have to go outside to kill vicious beasts for a month. The Wind Wolf leader said this with excitement. Obviously, this silver moon mink must be worth a fortune. A gravely injured silver moon mink was an easy prey to the Wind Wolf Hunter Team. But the silver mink had not given up. Suddenly, his body radiated a silver glow. The aura surrounding its body is slowly getting stronger. Be careful. It's unleashing its bloodline. It's going to go berserk. The Wind Wolf leader warned his people. Shush, shush, shush. All martial artists quickly retreat, fearing that the silver moon mink will take them down together with it. But suddenly, the silver moon mink dashed towards the crowds. Every martial artist's face turned grim. They instantly understood what the silver moon mink was trying to do. All of you, spread out. The Wind Wolf leader shouted at the crowd from afar. But unfortunately, the silver moon mink is too fast. After unleashing its bloodline, its speed went up a notch. It's impossible for these ordinary humans to evade its attack. Before long, it had already reached in front of the crowds. Without doing anything special, it just bumped into people. Everyone who got bumped flew away. No one knew if they were dead or not. Abruptly, another arrow was shot. It was shot by the Wind Wolf Hunter Team's Xiao Yu, who was hidden in the darkness. The arrow pierced through the silver moon mink's wound and body. The gravely injured silver moon mink died as signs of life slowly faded from its body. At this moment, people moved away from the silver moon mink's dead body. However, a young man slowly approached the silver moon mink and gently brushed its skin. Youngster, you're quite brave, touching the vicious beast. The Wind Wolf leader walked towards him and laughed. It's my first time seeing a vicious beast. I couldn't stop myself from touching it. The young man answered awkwardly. The Wind Wolf leader nodded with approval. Not bad, youngster. I see that you're already a martial disciple. Being a martial disciple at your age, you might have hope in becoming a martial artist. When you become one, I'll allow you to join as a member of our hunter team. Thank you, Wind Wolf leader. The young man thanked with excitement. The Wind Wolf hunter team didn't stay for long. After shipping the body of the Silver Moon mink away, they left one by one. The young man who just had a conversation with the Wind Wolf leader stood in the middle of the street and was smiling like an idiot. The people that saw him thought that he had gone insane. Becoming a martial artist isn't that easy. The Wind Wolf leader's words were just consolations. However, the reason the young man smiled wasn't because of the Wind Wolf leader's words. The young man was Ye Tian. Haha. To think that the second talent that I'll be replicating is from a vicious beast. Ye Tian murmured with excitement. Ye Tian was only 3 meters away from where the Silver Moon mink died. He was terrified at the time. Fortunately, the Silver Moon mink had died. He might have been slaughtered by the Silver Moon mink otherwise. In short, he was lucky. Knowing that the Silver Moon mink is dead, he thought of using his replication talent to check the Silver Moon mink's talent. Vicious beast, Silver Moon mink. Bloodline talent, inferior. Speed talent, low. Ye Tian was taken aback when he saw its talent. Vicious beasts rely on their bloodline to evolve, just as how humans have cultivating talent. They cannot evolve into a strong vicious beast unless they have a great bloodline. The Silver Moon mink's bloodline talent is only inferior. If compared to a human, the Silver Moon mink is equivalent to an early-stage martial artist. It can, however, easily cause severe injury to a martial artist. Even the Wind Wolf leader, a late-stage martial artist, found it difficult to deal with. This is due to it having another talent, speed talent. Because of its speed ability, the Silver Moon mink evolved into a terrifying vicious beast. Otherwise, martial artists would overwhelm a normal low-tier vicious beast of the same level as a martial artist. Once fused with the speed talent that he replicated, Ye Tian's speed will be unrivaled among martial artists at the same stage. He can even compete with people of a higher level. Let's go home. Ye Tian ran towards his home. After returning and eating dinner with his little sister, Ye Tian entered his room and prepared to fuse with his newly acquired talent. Under normal circumstances, talents other than the cultivating talent requires one to be at a martial artist level to slowly awaken them. However, my replication talent can break this norm. I should be able to safely fuse with this speed talent. Ye Tian murmured. Who cares? Fuse. Ye Tian bit on a cloth and started the fusion. A pain comparable to when he fused with the medium, cultivating talent assaulted his mind. Ye Tian, who had prepared for it, withstood it without an issue. After 10 minutes, the pain subsided. Ye Tian felt a sense of joy. He knew that he had successfully fused with a speed talent. He then checked his talent status. Human, Ye Tian. Cultivating talent, medium. Speed talent, low. Feeling fatigued, on top of having experienced the assault of a vicious beast, Ye Tian fell into a deep slumber. The next morning, Ye Tian went to the academy's small forest. There was no one else around at the time. Let's test this speed talent. Ye Tian instantly unleashed his speed talent. His body moved, leaving a trail of shadow as he dashed to a spot further. How fast? Ye Tian was stunned. After several tests, it was clear that his speed had tripled. Low level of this talent granted him speed on par with an average martial artist. He will also get faster as his cultivation improves. It is said that humans with multiple talents are chosen by God. This might be the case. With my low level of speed, I could easily defeat the majority of the martial disciples. I might even be able to compete against martial artists soon. Ye Tian exclaimed with excitement. He was still aware, however, that cultivation was the most important factor. Having multiple talents is useless without having a strong foundation, thus fighting against the powerful would be difficult. I have another month before I can replicate another talent. My goal for this month is to train my body to a strength of 150 kilograms. Ye Tian set a goal for himself. In addition, he began to reveal to his classmates that he could cultivate using the body forging technique. After all, his peers could now do it as well. So his ability to cultivate did not draw too much attention to himself. Apart from cultivating, Ye Tian also assessed each student's talent at the 5th Academy. Aside from Chen Dong, the best cultivating talent is low. A month had quickly passed. Ye Tian achieved his goal of reaching 150 kilograms in strength. My cultivating speed is still too slow, if only there were some ways to speed it up even more. Ye Tian sighed. On his way home, a voice came from behind. Ye Tian, wait for me. Ye Tian turned his head and saw Zhang Bao. He came to a halt. Ye Tian, you have become a martial disciple, right? Zhang Bao asked softly. Yes. Ye Tian nodded. Becoming a martial disciple wasn't hard, it wasn't to be kept as a secret. As long as he didn't reveal that he possesses a strength of 150 kilograms. Ye Tian, do you want to increase your cultivation quicker? Zhang Bao asked. Of course. Ye Tian nodded. His parents were martial artists. From them, he knew about some stuff that normal people don't. The vicious beast's blood contains strong energy. If one drinks it during cultivation and using the body forging technique, it can speed up the body forging process. Too bad. Ye Tian's parents are no longer here. There's no way he'll be able to get some vicious beast's blood. Ye Tian, our talent isn't too great. We'll be old by the time we reach the level of martial artist if we cultivate normally. But if we have some vicious beast's blood, then everything will be different. We might even become martial artists at the age of 20. At that point, even if we can no longer increase our cultivation due to our talent, we can live a good life while reaping the benefits of becoming a martial artist. Zhang Bao stated. You're right. But we don't have any way to get some vicious beast blood. Ye Tian said helplessly. He wanted to obtain some vicious beast's blood, but there wasn't any way for him to get some. Ye Tian, I'm telling you this because we're like brothers. Lin Hai's 5 great academies is going to host a trial. The top brass have developed a small area in the wilderness. They have slaughtered all of the vicious beasts in that area. Only violent beasts remain. Violent beasts are off, springs of vicious beasts. Their cultivation is also lower. They can be dealt with by martial disciples or even ordinary humans armed with weapons. After you've killed them, you can exchange something valuable from their bodies for the blood of a vicious beast. I heard that first place will be rewarded with the blood of a medium-tier vicious beast. Zhang Bao explained with an envious look. Medium-tier vicious beast's blood. Ye Tian was also excited. A medium-tier vicious beast can only be hunted by an elite martial artist. If he had a medium-tier vicious beast's blood, becoming a martial artist within half a year will be possible. How did you know about this? Ye Tian frowned. He hasn't heard any news about this. Zhang Bao explained proudly. I'm friends with an old student who has a strength of 250 kilograms. However, he said that the trial this time is a little dangerous. That's why the academy didn't tell the students who had only just become martial disciples. Ye Tian, I'm more aware of the benefits of a vicious beast's blood than you are. My talent isn't very good. My parents once spent half of their savings on the blood of a low-tier vicious beast. With this, I was able to become a martial disciple. Your talent is higher than mine. The effects of the blood from a vicious beast should be better for you, and you'll also be able to cultivate faster. Let us register as a group and form a team. We'll have a better chance of getting some vicious beast blood if we work together. Zhang Bao said enticingly. Zhang Bao, you've also invited other kids, right? Ye Tian asked. Of course, it won't just be the two of us. We've only just recently become martial disciples. How can we compete with those stronger martial disciples if we don't work together? I have already asked 8 other martial disciples. They have agreed. Now, we're waiting for your answer. Zhang Bao waited for Ye Tian's reply. I'm sorry, I don't like working in groups. Ye Tian rejected his proposal. All right then. Zhang Bao walked away, disappointed. He asked to see if Ye Tian was interested. Even if Ye Tian turned down his offer, it didn't matter much. After all, Ye Tian had only recently become a martial disciple. What Zhang Bao didn't expect was Ye Tian's refusal to form a team, rather than his proposal to join the trial. This trial might be a chance for me. Ye Tian murmured. Ye Tian, are you sure you want to participate in the trial? Although you can participate if you are a martial disciple, if you're not a martial disciple with a strength of 250 kilograms, it's better to not participate in it. Otherwise, you might die. The 5th Academy's teacher Yu Cheng looked at Ye Tian and advised him. Students like Ye Tian, he had seen a lot of them. They always believe they have a chance in obtaining the blood of a vicious beast. Little do they know that in that small area of wilderness, while there are no vicious beasts, there are strong violent beasts which can kill the most of your average martial disciple. Unless they rely on numbers or weapons, a martial disciple would be like an ant to these strong violent beasts. Teacher, I have joined a team. Having the advantage in numbers should give us hope for a good reward. Ye Tian intentionally lied. All right then, it's your decision. But you must sign the life and death waiver. Once you have signed this, even if you die during the trial, our 5th Academy won't take any responsibility. Yu Cheng reminded. I know. Ye Tian signed the contract without hesitation. 10 days later before 8 a.m., please come to the 5th training ground. There will be a teacher to guide you. Ye Tian said. Yes, teacher. Ye Tian replied. Ye Tian exhaled a sigh of relief after successfully registering for the trial. He didn't want to waste any of the next 10 days. He was confident in his strength, but it was still inadequate. He decided to make some preparations. For example, buying some weapons or equipment. There was no law in place to control weapons during this time period. Anyone, at any time, could bring a weapon with them. The weapons were classified. A steel weapon was considered a standard weapon. Weapons made from Yuan force material, on the other hand, could be supplied with a martial artist's Yuan force. These are known as Yuan weapons. Ye Tian couldn't afford to buy a Yuan weapon. There was no reason to purchase one. Except for the Yuan force traits, the quality of a Yuan weapon was similar to that of a regular weapon. Ye Tian went to a weapon shop and purchased a forged steel sword. In addition, he purchased a bow and arrows. These weapons cost him about $5,000, or about a year's worth of his daily expenses. Ye Tian had only $20,000 at the time. He had now left with $15,000. However, these weapons are necessary. 10 days had passed in no time. Ye Tian never mentioned the trial to his younger sister. He only mentioned participating in a 3-day school activity. 5th Academy, 5th Training Ground. When Ye Tian came, he saw almost 100 students gathered. Though, these weren't everyone yet. He assumed that there'd be at least 150 participants, maybe even more. Seems like a vicious beast's blood is very enticing. It gives hope to those students that have low or inferior talent. Ye Tian thought. Ye Tian, didn't you decide not to participate? Zhang Bao's voice came from behind. Ye Tian looked at Zhang Bao and calmly said, I didn't say I'm not participating. I just said that I didn't want to join a team. You mean you have someone to carry you? Zhang Bao was stunned. Ye Tian kept his mouth shut. On the other hand, Zhang Bao looked at Ye Tian enviously. Obviously, he thought that Ye Tian had a strong helper, thus was unwilling to team up with him. Zhang Bao misunderstood the situation, but Ye Tian didn't want to explain. It's better for him to misunderstand. After waiting for almost 30 minutes, all the students have arrived. Around 160 of them. Almost all of these 160 students have inferior cultivating talent. They're pretty much grown-ups, even some of them are above 20. With so many students, many of them might not make it back. In this era, if you are weak, you can be killed at any time. Many ordinary people are killed, similar to the Silver Moon Mink incident. Only strength matters. Is everyone here? Then let's enter the vehicles. A teacher shouted at the students. A few buses suddenly appeared in front of the students. This is the students' first encounter with a vehicle. Typically, students would only encounter them in textbooks. Teacher, nowadays the world's laws should have changed, and vehicles from a century ago should no longer be usable, right? A student curiously asked. This is a newly invented bus that is powered by Yuan force. The Lin Hai base's top brass made a trade for this technology. We have only recently begun to employ this technology. Vehicles can only be purchased by martial artists. I believe you will soon see a variety of vehicles on the roads. The instructor responded. Vehicle that moves with Yuan force. A group of students were surprised by what they had heard. They weren't expecting the Lin High base to have a Yuan force-powered device. The students boarded the buses. The buses then proceeded to the base's exit. After an hour, the bus drove past the city gate and into the wilderness. Many students are nervous as they enter the wilderness. There were a lot of vicious beasts in the wilderness. They, as martial disciples, stand no chance against these vicious beasts. Relax. The big shots in Lin High base cleared the wilderness not long ago. There will be no vicious beasts within a 1.5 kilometers radius. Our destination is a small area 1 kilometer away. With a smile, the leading teacher explained. After hearing it, the students breathed a sigh of relief. Furthermore, these buses have more than 10 teachers guarding them. These teachers are martial artists. Their safety is guaranteed. Before long, a valley can be seen. That valley is our destination, a teacher said. At the entrance of the valley, there were multiple buses. These buses were from other academies. It's the 5th Academy's students. Haha, that trash academy also sends some students here. Are they asking for their deaths? Have the 5th Academy students ever seen blood? Unlike us from the 1st Academy, the teachers frequently capture violent beasts and even weakened vicious beasts so that we can spar with them. These 5th Academy students aren't in our league. I bet they'll cry after seeing a violent beast. The 5th Academy students may be weak, but the 5th Academy's principal is a big shot in the Lin High base. We shouldn't mock them. If we anger the 5th Academy's principal, there would be nothing good waiting for us. F***CK. These 1st Academy students are too arrogant. A lot of the 5th Academy students cursed angrily. However, they only dared to speak to themselves. They lacked the courage to curse in front of the students of the 1st Academy. They are also aware of the disparity in their strength. After getting off the bus, Ye Tian stared at the 1st Academy students. The 1st Academy students have at least an inferior talent. Maybe I'll run into someone with a medium talent. My replication talent can also be used again. Maybe this time I'll be able to replicate another good talent. All the students from the 5 great academies had gathered in front of the entrance of the valley, waiting for the start of the trial. Ye Tian strolled around, looking as if he had too much time on hand. He's checking other students' talent using his replication talent. His primary target is the students from the 1st Academy. Low, cultivating talent. Low, cultivating talent. Low, cultivating talent. Ye Tian checked each and every one of them. He found out that most of the students from the 1st Academy had a low, cultivating talent. There's only 5 left. Ye Tian turned to face the last 5 students and walked slowly towards them. He then checked them with his replication talent when he was 3 meters away from them. All 5 of them have medium, cultivating talent. Ye Tian was surprised. These students should be the elite students from the 1st Academy. Their cultivation has probably reached the peak of martial disciple, only 1 step away from being a martial artist. Replicating a medium, cultivating talent wouldn't increase my current strength. It would at most make my medium, cultivating talent slightly better, which would not help me in this trial. It would be great if I could replicate a skill that aids in battle. Ye Tian thought. Sadly, after checking all the students once, he found out that most of them have either weak or low elemental talents. All of them are unawakened, so he cannot replicate them. Suddenly, a young man with a knife on his back walked towards the 5 students of the 1st Academy. Mo Xiaobei, I challenge you to a battle. The young man grabbed his knife and pointed at the student named Mo Xiaobei. This young man. Ye Tian looked at this young man, surprised. This young man is a student from the 2nd Academy. He had the courage to challenge an elite student from the 1st Academy with a medium, cultivating talent. Perhaps he's got a good talent. Ye Tian was curious. He didn't check the talents of the students from the 2nd Academy. He felt that it was unnecessary. However, this young man who dared to challenge an elite with a medium, cultivating talent. He must have something in him. Ye Tian approached him. The young man paid no attention to Ye Tian's actions. He only stared at Mo Xiaobei. Li Yunxing, I've heard you're known in the 2nd Academy as the knife genius. Even if you know how to use a knife well, it won't make up for the difference in strength. My current strength is 495 kilograms, while you only have 100 kilograms. Do you enjoy losing that much? Mo Xiaobei snickered. Humph, I already have 150 kilograms of strength now. Li Yunxing responded. Does a 100 kilograms and 150 kilograms of strength make a difference in front of 495 kilograms of strength? Mo Xiaobei looked at Li Yunxing with disdain. The other 4 students with medium, cultivating talent also looked at Li Yunxing with scorn. They were aware of Li Yunxing's situation. Even if he cultivated for the rest of his life, he would only be an early-stage martial artist. He wasn't even worth comparing to them. They wouldn't pay much attention to trash like him. You. Li Yunxing was displeased and wanted to start a fight. You cannot fight here. Whoever disobeys the rules will lose their right to participate in the trial. A teacher gave them a word of caution. Li Yunxing looked at the teacher with fear. He kept away his knife and stopped trying to provoke the students from 1st Academy. My friend, I admire your knife skills. Can we be friends? Ye Tian moved towards Li Yunxing with a smile on his face and extended his right hand. You are. Li Yunxing looked confused, but he subconsciously shook hands with Ye Tian. I'm Ye Tian. Ye Tian said. After blabbering nonsense for a while, he turned around and walked away, leaving Li Yunxing confused. After gaining some distance, Ye Tian recalled the scene he had just witnessed. Human, Li Yunxing. Cultivating talent. Inferior. Knife arts talent. Medium. Both the knife arts talent and cultivating talent can be replicated. Ye Tian chose to use his replication on the knife arts talent. If he didn't replicate it now, and Li Yunxing died during the trial, he wouldn't be able to replicate it later. Therefore, Ye Tian replicated the knife arts talent without hesitation. Seeing that nobody paid any attention to him, he hid behind a boulder and started to fuse with a medium knife arts talent. Immense pain surged within his body as if his body was being rebuilt by some energy. After 10 minutes, the pain subsided. Ye Tian then checked his talent status.